Hello and welcome back to Mafia City RP. So today, I actually have a bit of a different kind of video. So recently there has been a ton of updates on Mafia, but recently they just released a gigantic update, changing a ton of stuff on the server, adding a bunch of new features, changing how a lot of the interactions work, and a lot of stuff in general. So I figured I would make a whole entire video on it. I know I haven't been posting a ton of Mafia stuff. I'm going to start posting a little bit more, but this update is pretty crazy. So I guess we're going to start off. I'll put the whole update on screen now, scroll through that a little bit. But I think we're going to go through each individual thing, because each thing that they added is pretty big. So we're going to start at the top with the revamped furniture system. So before they didn't really have a furniture system. I believe you could go inside a house and buy stuff from inside. But now you're able to go to a furniture store, pick up the furniture there, bring it to your house, and you can edit it super nicely. Like the system they use for it, I'll show on screen a little bit now, is really cool. Now I don't know if you can edit, no, you can't edit items that are already there, but I believe they're adding an option so you can get your property changed to a blank interior, obviously depending the size on what kind of house you have. But you're going to be able to get the interior changed to just a blank interior so you can furnish it all yourself, which can be really cool. I'm not sure if we're going to do that just because this interior is really nice, but if we do, I'll let you know, and I'm going to make a video just furnishing the whole entire place. But I think it's a bit easier for me to just show you instead of me talking about it. So we're going to go head over to the furniture store, pick up some furniture, and bring it back here, and I'll show you how that works, and I will see you guys once we get to the furniture store. Alright, so we are at the furniture store, but apparently the furniture weighs a ton of stuff, so what we're going to do is put all of our stuff into our car. Let's move everything over. Alright, now we should be hopefully able to carry it. I believe each furniture is 25 kilograms. What's good about this is that it's going to allow for moving companies with mules and such, because they have a bunch of space inside them. So let's just get like... First of all, before we go looking through everything, there is a ton of different things. So you're going to be able to customize your house a ton, especially if you have one of those open interiors that I was talking about earlier. So you're really going to be able to make your house kind of your own. This might also lead way to interior decorating companies, stuff like that, furniture, transportation companies to help you move and such. So let's get a cash pile to put on the table for where we have our gambling nights, and we can test out the objects and how they move like that. So let's go ahead over there. Let's go head back. Start with this cash pile. I'll show you guys how to move the items, how to place them, stuff like that. And I'll cut back once we're back at the house. But furniture store is over here on the map, if you didn't know. It's pretty far away from us, unfortunately. But thing is, once people start doing furniture moving companies and have mules and stuff to transport vehicles, it's going to be really cool. I'm going to add definitely for some cool RP for some player-made jobs as well. And especially with like interior decorating and such like that. It's going to be really cool. So I'm really glad that they made the furniture super heavy. But again, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because we have a lot of stuff to talk about in this update. So let's go over to the Playboy Mansion, test out this furniture system, and then go on to the next part. So I will see you guys in just a second. Alrighty, so we are back now at the mansion. We're going to leave the car running because we shouldn't be too long. Let's head on in real quick. Alright, so let's figure this out. We're going to put it on this table because, again, this is where we do all of our gambling nights and stuff. This could be a cool little prop to have down here. So first of all, I believe you just right-click on it. And now, I think if we... Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so they also added a whole new F2 menu, which I was going to go into a little bit later. But I'll go into it a little bit now, just to, you know, get ahead of it. I'll do it with myself and the object, and then I'll show you the other uses for it. So again, if you guys knew from Mafia, there is a B menu where you can do different actions, but they added a new F2 thing. So if you hit F2, it obviously brings up your cursor. Then you're able to click on yourself, another player, a vehicle, or I believe an object. So let's right click on ourselves. So from this menu, we're able to access our vehicles, look at our vehicles, go into settings, change our walking style, attributes, and facial expressions, change different clothing. So if I wanted to, let me show you. Okay, so say I wanted to just remove the top, I literally just right-click, clothing menu, and then remove top, and it's as easy as that. Again, the undershirts are still a little glitchy, but that's just GTA. But it's really useful, especially if you need to take off a mask or something. You can just F2, right-click, clothing menu, remove mask that easily. But to go along with the F2 menu, there's also able to edit objects from here as well. So we're going to right-click on this, edit object. from here, we're able to change the X, Z, and Y. So let's change the X, move it a little bit over there, make it a little bit more centered in the table. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. So now let's put it down at the Z. And let's make sure that's perfect. Let's get that good. Actually, let me see if this ground actually works. Oh, it puts it right on. Okay, so it's perfect. And then we can also rotate it from here as well, I believe. Oh yeah, we can rotate it either way. And if we cancel, it just resets it. That's perfect. So let's go back to editing it. Make it back to where we wanted it. Move instead of rotate. Okay, so you can just switch between the two different modes that way. Again, I haven't used this before, so I'm new to this as well. But it's super easy to edit. And then hit that to make it go into the ground automatically. Save, and then boom, we have a pile of money on the table. That is pretty cool. Especially, again, once, I know I've said this already a couple times, once we have interior decorators and people that are actually really good at this, we can start making some really cool interiors, especially with the custom ones. So that's how we use a new furniture system. Next, I think we're going to move on to the plastic surgery. Now again, this is kind of a feature that I was surprised wasn't on launch, but it's still a pretty decent feature. With the plastic surgery, you're able to completely change your character, as you would think. So we're going to go head over to the plastic surgery. We're not going to do it now, but I'm going to show you where it is. I'm pretty sure it's right inside MD, but we're going to go head over there. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. And I guess since we're heading over there anyways, I'm also going to go over the new medical interior, new hospital interior, and the new medical system they added as well. Some really cool stuff. Added a whole new interior, whole new system for getting revived and such. I'll talk about it a little bit more, but let's head over to the hospital, and I'll go into a little bit more in depth once we get over there. Alright, so we're at the new MD, going in the wrong way, as you do. Let's go park over in the actual parking area. This'll work. Let's do a little parallel parking action here. Alright, let's go check out the new interior. So apparently, it's super nice. I checked it out a little bit yesterday, but it's a pretty awesome interior. And again, there's a whole new system for reviving, which we'll go into once we get inside. So let's head inside real quick. Let's go inside here. So obviously this is the whole new lobby in here. It's pretty sweet. I'm pretty sure none of these doors are accessible by regular civilians. But so inside here we have the plastic surgery station over here, which I believe you need 25k to do it. I believe 25k. And then over here is when, basically when you're downed, a medic will bring you over to this station and drop you off here. I'm not sure if you can do it. I believe you can't as a regular player, but as a medical, you can drop off at the drop-off point, and then they go into, I believe, it's locked, but they go into a room with a bunch of beds. Basically what you do is they drop you off here, and then you go into a bed for about 5 minutes, which is really cool. Instead of just instantly getting revived, you actually get some RP of actually being out of the fight for a while, which I really like. I think it's an awesome addition. And especially once you have gang fights, you're gonna have a bunch of gang members all in beds next to each other screaming at each other, so that should be pretty entertaining. But I think it's gonna be about it. Again, there is an upstairs. I'm not sure if we're allowed to go up there, but we're gonna go up there anyways. The elevator, I'm not sure about exactly how that works. I'm not actually sure what's up here. Is this where the beds are? This is where the beds are. I'm not sure if we can go in here. Oh, we can. But this is where the beds are. So basically when you get down, you get put on one of these beds. There's a shit ton of them. And I believe it's 5 minutes. I'll put on screen if that's different. But I believe it's 5 minutes until you get revived. But see, like that player, you're going to be down in here. They're going to go through the MD, like the proper RP for it and everything like that. And again, if a gang war breaks out, there's going to be a lot of different gangs, a lot of different people on the beds in there, so it should be pretty interesting. But again, don't want to spend too much time on this because we do have a lot more stuff to go through. And I should have put an index at the beginning of the video, or now I guess. But next thing we're going to be moving on to is the cafe interiors. They completely redid a bunch of the cafe interiors. So we're going to go check those out, see how they are, and I will catch up with you guys once we get over there. Again, I'm trying to go through this as fast as we can because there is a lot of new content to go through. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying, but I will come back once we're checking out the new interiors for the cafes in the city. Alright, so we are at the nearest cafe to where I was. Let's check it out and see if the interior, hopefully this one's not locked. Okay, sweet. Ooh, so it's like a nice little cozy interior. I really like this. You definitely have some cool RP here, some cool like little meetings maybe, or some cool like little business meetings and such. It's a really cool spot to hang out. I'm not sure if all of the little windows and everything. It's a pretty nice interior. Let's see if we can go out back. I believe we can't since we don't own it. No, we can't. But I'm not sure if all the cafe interiors are the same or not. Let me see what we can buy from here as well. So beer, soda, water, whiskey, wine. I think this might be changed to add food as well, but I'm not sure. That might just be for restaurants. But the interior is pretty damn cozy. I'm not sure if all the interiors are different or just this one. So what we're going to go do is go check out another cafe and see if it's the same interior for all of them or not. But I will catch up with you guys once we get to the next cafe to see if it's the same interior. Alright, so we're at another cafe. Let's quickly check if it is the same interior. I believe it is going to be the same interior, but let's see real quick. Oh, yeah, it's the same exact interior. Okay, so there's just a new interior for all the cafes, it seems. Alright, so again, I'm trying to go through this as quick as I can because there is a lot more. So the next big thing is they added a shit ton of more clothing items, like a lot of clothing items. So we're going to go to a clothing store, check it out. There is, again, a ton of new clothing items. I'm not exactly sure how many, but there is a lot, I know. So we're going to go check over. They also added watches and bracelets as well because they weren't in previously. So let's go. Oh, there's a clothing store right there. So let's go to a clothing store real quick and check out. Now again, this update is pretty crazy. There's a lot more I'm going to go into in a little bit later. But it's pretty awesome having this kind of a giant update after a while of very small updates and such. So let me see inside. I believe the changing is all the way back here. Alright, so we'll start off with tops. Oh, it's 289. I'm not sure how many there were before, but there are... Ooh, that's new. These are all new. This is... Ooh, we might actually change into this. This looks pretty sweet. They added a bunch of... I think this is all the casino update stuff as well. So they added a bunch of new clothes. Again, I haven't seen any of this before. We might actually have to change up our suit from red to... Ooh, maybe the gold. Alright, enough clothes shopping for me, but they added basically a bunch of new clothes to the stores. Let's check undershirts. Well, it's going to be kind of glitchy if we check undershirts. Pants. I believe there's some new pants as well. Yeah, it looks like it. Shoes. Accessories. So they added a bunch of, again, new items that weren't in there. A little paramedic one. Added a bunch of stuff. Hats. Are there any new hats? Yeah, I believe there's some new hats. Yeah, I don't remember these in before either. Motorcycle helmets. Earrings I'm pretty sure are the same. They did add watches, which again, it's not going to really work since we have a long sleeve. Bracelets. I believe they're also changing how masks are going to work. I believe so. I'm not 100% sure. They did a poll for it, so I'm not sure if they're going to change it, but they may be changing so only certain masks can be purchased at the store, and the rest have to be purchased at the black market. I'm not sure yet, though. Bags. Looks like they added a bunch more stuff for this as well. Got little parachute backpacks. Alright, but that's going to be pretty much it for the clothing store. Again, if you want to check out all the new clothing, you can come to the clothing store yourself, check it out. But they did add a lot of new stuff. So I guess the next point we're going to go to is probably one of the biggest parts of this update, and it's the fishing update. So as you can see on the map, there is the usual pier, and now there is also a medium value fishing area, a low value fishing area, and a high value fishing area. So what we're going to do is, I guess first off I should tell you guys about the new boat mechanics. So basically if you have a boat, you can now anchor it, so it won't actually move away from you while you're fishing or doing something similar. And if you own a boat, you can also now buy an item called a net, or like a fishing net. And you're able to fish off your boat with this net and catch, I think, a lot more fish and a lot more high quality fish. So that's really cool because we're going to now have people coming from the pier, because basically the whole reason for the low, medium, high is, I'm guessing this is low, right? Yeah, so low is the closest to the sell point, so you can be going there, fishing a bunch, coming back, selling. Medium's a little bit farther away, and then the high point you're going to have to go all the way around to get to it. So it is worth probably going to high end, but it is going to take a lot more time, but it should hopefully make you more money. But I think that's what we're going to go test next. So I don't own a boat, but I think we're going to go hopefully borrow one from Andy to test this out. So I will catch up with you guys once we get to the fish store, because we're going to have to buy a net, which I believe you buy from the fish store. And they also added rentals here. Alright, so one correction real quick. This is not a rental place, but this is actually a restaurant at the pier. It's really nice. I'll show you guys real quick. So the interior is super nice in here, especially since it's at the pier after a long day of fishing. You know, you can come in here, get some food, chill with some friends. There's a whole like little area up here as well for like meetings and just chilling that's kind of separated from the rest of the restaurant. But I just want to basically say that this is not a rental place. Like I said, it's actually a really nice restaurant. There's a bunch of food in here you can get as well. So it's pretty sweet. I just wanted to update that because I did say it was a rental and it's not. But let's get back to whatever I was doing. But I just wanted to update you guys real quick that it's not a rental place. It's actually like a super nice restaurant. But we're going to go over to the fishing shop and buy a net and then borrow a boat hopefully, and then I'll show you guys how the new fishing update works. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Alright, so actually a little bit of an update on the fishing situation. So apparently you need to have level 100 fishing to fish, I believe, at the different spots. Now again, I'm pretty sure it's going to be changed because level 100 does take a while to get to. And this is level 100, of course, of slash profession, I believe. Alright, so we have unfortunately fishing level 0 because I have not done any fishing on this character. But if you hit level 100, you're able to then use the nets to fish, and then I think if you hit level 200, you can get bigger fish, and if you hit level 300, you can then get exotic fish. And then again, once you start fishing off the boat, apparently you get a shit ton of XP from fishing off the boat with the net. So it obviously, once you hit level 100, then it's super easy to get to level 200 and 300 hopefully, or at least you make a lot more money, a lot more experience faster while doing it. But unfortunately I'm not going to be able to show off that feature right now just because I'm level 0 fishing, because I don't really do much fishing on Zez. But maybe one day on Johnny we'll be able to hit that, or they will lower the cap a bit. But so I'll put it on screen, of course, how it works right now. Basically what you do is you anchor your boat so it doesn't move at near one of the fishing spots, and then you drop your net, and I believe it takes longer than fishing because you get a lot more fish. And from doing this you can also get rare fish and exotic fish again once you hit the higher levels, which sell for a shit ton more and give you a ton of XP, at least from what I've heard. So that's pretty much it for the fishing. Now I think this is going to be really cool because once people start actually fishing off boats and making tons of money that way, because it's basically having a mastered skill, and that's why you're going to make a lot more money. So it does make sense for the high level, I guess. Level 100 might be a little bit much, so they're probably going to change it. Again, this is just the day 2, I believe, of the update being out, or day 1 of the update being out. But it's really cool because you can make a ton of money that way once you actually hit that cap. And the cool thing is, on the criminal side, this allows for pirates and such, and protection for on the seas. So it's going to be really cool once people start actually getting level 100 and fishing off the boats, to see pirates trying to raid them, people potentially hiring people to protect them while they're fishing at these high value spots. Can add a lot of really cool RP to the server, and a really cool thing in general. But I guess we're going to move on to the next feature now, which is going to be the interaction menu, which is, I think, this is the biggest thing that they've added in a long time. It is absolutely amazing. So again, as I was saying a little bit earlier before, at the mansion, there is a B menu where you can hit like management, or you can interact with other players through it and do stuff like this, like show them your licenses. But now they've completely redone it, so now all you have to do is hit F2 and say I want to do something with my vehicle, so I would hit F2, right click on the vehicle, and from here I can manage the vehicle, which I can toggle the engine, radio, seatbelt, open or close the doors, or get the VIN for it. I can seat or unseat players. I can manage the doors individually from here. So say I wanted to pull up to a car show and open my hood, I can do it from there. And then I can do the same thing, manage doors, and then I can toggle the hood again to close it, stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool. And also another cool feature about this is, you know, if you're at a car show and you do want to show it off, you can also just right click, manage doors, and the hood's right there. Super easy. And now the awesome thing about this also is that if you lock your car, it's not able to be really modified at all. So then if you lock your car and you go to right click on your car and manage doors, you're not going to be able to toggle stuff. So that means at a car show, people are not going to be able to come up to your car if it's locked and toggle the hood, or like open and close stuff, or open stuff you don't want to open. But then if you go ahead and unlock it again, you're going to be able to once again toggle the different aspects of the vehicle. So going on to the next part of the F2 menu is you can F2 on yourself, as I said earlier. From here you can check out your vehicles, change your settings, change your clothing, or holster your weapon. So again, it just adds for some really fast interactions. Instead of having to, like, say I want to take off my clothes, instead of having to hit B, clothing menu, and then remove it from here, I can just hit F2, right click on my person, clothing menu, and then just remove from there. It's a lot easier, a lot more user friendly as well. So another big thing about the F2 menu is interactions with other players. Now with the new F2 thing. It makes it a lot easier to interact just with simple stuff. So I'm going to go over to the pier and I'll show you how to use it. Of course we're not going to really use it, but I'll show you how fast you can now do different actions that used to take a long time to do. So it really changed a lot of how RP works and makes everything a lot smoother. So let's go down to the pier and I will show you how it interacts with other players. Alright, so with the new interaction menu, you're now able to hit F2 and then to interact with someone, like say we were going to interact with this guy, we just right click on him, and then from here we can give money, and automatically enters in their ID. You just have to enter in how much money you want to give them. We can also show licenses super easily. We can frisk, tie, blindfold, alias, toggle drag player, or examine the player. So this is going to be super easy. So now if I meet someone new, instead of having to either type out /alias, do, and then their name, I can now just right click on them. Oh, actually you have to be a little bit closer than that. I can just right click on them, alias, type in their alias, and hit send. It's that easy. This is going to be really useful, and especially with the licenses and stuff, and frisking people, and just giving money, and just makes everything run a lot smoother. So I think that's going to be about it for the new F2 menu. Again, this is going to change a lot of stuff. At least RP-wise, it's going to make stuff go a lot smoother. Alright, so that's pretty much going to be it for the F2 interaction menu, and that's actually going to be pretty much it for the video. Now there was a couple of other small things changed, such as if you have a legal license, you can only purchase, I believe, 1 or 2 firearms every 24 hours. So what this is going to do is, of course, you know, if you're a legal citizen, you don't really need to be purchasing firearms like 5 a day or something. But for the illegal factories that criminals spent a ton of money on, and now gives them a big use and a big advantage, because now they're going to be able to produce multiple pistols instead of just being able to buy 1 a day. So now factories are actually going to be a lot more useful than they used to be. Because before, factories weren't super useful because you could just go around, buy like 50 handguns, and then you should be fine forever. But now you're going to actually have to buy a bunch of pistols from factories instead of just buying them 1 at a time every 24 hours from a gun shop or something with a legal license. So this really adds a lot to the value of the factories, or the gun factories that gangs had purchased. But I think that's going to be about it. Now again, this was a pretty giant update. I'm really excited to start playing with some of the new features and such and just seeing how they work in use. But I think it's going to be about it. Again, I tried to make this video as condensed as I could, so hopefully it's short enough and hopefully it explains it in enough detail. But I think it's going to be about it. Now they also said they're going to be working a lot more with smaller updates, of course, still, because they have been posting updates really frequently as they have since basically the server came out. They've been posting probably 2 to 3 updates a week, if not more than that. So the updates have been still great, but I think it's going to be about it for this video. The Tev team has been doing some awesome stuff recently, and hopefully we get some more updates soon, some more big content updates. But I think that's going to be about it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, and if you want to, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.